Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters and dear friends, welcome to my channel. Hope you guys are doing well. Obviously, you guys might be aware of the Las Vegas shooting that happened about a day ago, 2 days ago. What we did is we thought, you know what, obviously it's a tragic event, and this tragic event is happening all over the world. It's happening in Burma right now, it's happening all over the world, it's happening, it's all madness. But the thing that we wanted to highlight as well, besides the tragic event, is that how the media, once again, the bias that they're using and calling this individual a wolf, a lone wolf, a killer, a crazed man, or whatever it may be. So what we thought is, let's go to the streets of London and speak to some people and get their take on it and ask them if this was a Muslim who committed this act, how would it have been? Like, you know, would it have been any different? And why is that the case? So let's go and find out. Do you know what happened yesterday in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
If the perpetrator was a Muslim, how do you think the headlines would have been?
The same?
Really? Hopefully, yes. It would have been nice. But do you really think that would have been the case?
I don't know.
You know what happened yesterday?
What happened?
In Las Vegas?
No.
Oh, there was a mass shooting.
Okay.
Yeah, and this guy's a killer.
Yeah.
He's a white guy.
Uh-huh.
If this was a Muslim, what do you think the heading would be?
You know what time it is, my brother, man.
Yeah.
You really know what time it is.
What do you think the headlines would be if this guy was a Muslim guy?
He's a terrorist. Straight away. No, before ISIS even claimed, because ISIS have tried to claim this, yeah? They say he converted to Muslim like 3 years, like Islam, like that's bullshit. But straight away, like I was saying this day, like even if he wasn't Muslim, if he was like black or like something like that, straight away they're saying this terrorist. But you know, it's come out that he's got like mental illness or something. Like,
I mean, if he's not a Muslim, or maybe if he's not black, he's mentally ill.
No, he's a terrorist.
So why do you think that is? Why do you think this double standard is in place?
Because of the racist governments that we have, like. First of all, they got Donald Trump in America, who's straight away a fascist xenophobe.
Yeah.
Like, so he doesn't like people for not being American, like, and then he doesn't like people for being Muslim, black, Mexican, whatever. Because of that, it's leaning towards the white community first. Like, I personally feel like white privilege, but I also feel guilt for being white in these situations.
Wow.
Like, live in a society where inherently, like, without even thinking about it, a white life costs more than a black or Muslim life. Like,
You know what? That's very powerful what you just said there, man. It's very true. Thank you guys for taking your time out to speak anyway, man. Look after yourself.
If that was a Muslim, what do you think they would have said?
Terrorist.
Huh?
Terrorist.
Why is that?
That's how the media's trying to portray it.
It says a killer, yeah? If this was a Muslim, what do you think?
Terrorist.
Why?
Terrorist.
What's the difference between this guy and those guys? Like, besides one of them shouting Allahu Akbar, what's the difference?
Nothing.
We're just wondering, if the perpetrator was a Muslim, how do you think the headline would have been? What word do you think they would use instead of killer?
Terrorist.
Why?
Because of fear-mongering and because of the Western world intolerant of like Eastern ideas like Islam and just general misrepresentations of what Islam is.
But you see this headline here in today's newspaper. It says, "Killer amassed arsenal of 42 guns."
Yeah.
What do you think the headlines would be if a Muslim done such a thing?
If it were Muslim, I think they will start with Muslim killer.
Yeah.
Muslim killer,
I wanted to know that it was Muslim.
Like that's like a double standard from the media's perspective.
Christ, don't even start about the media.
But this is the
all
evening
these
standard,
I
right?
want to ask you a question. You know what happened yesterday?
Yes,
What happened?
there was a shooting.
You know about it, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. If the perpetrator was if he was a Muslim.
Oh, I'm aware that only brown people can be terrorists. Like,
Yeah.
brown, I know.
What do you think the title would have been?
Oh, it would have been, well, they'll be looking for any evidence that he's a Muslim. They'll be searching, I know what they do.
Yeah.
Like, white people can't be terrorists in, like,
Yeah.
the UK.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah, it's a
around the
shame,
world.
it's a shame.
This guy's the guy that done the killings. Now, if you look at this headline, "Killer amassed arsenal of 42 guns before unleashing deadly spree." What do you think the headlines would be
where you are going.
if this guy was a Muslim?
Yeah. Terrorist.
Yeah, terrorist, killer.
Obviously.
So why do you think that the headlines are so different when, like,
White privilege.
like a white guy has done it?
because
White
like
supremacy.
And his race is never mentioned, his religion. You know, this shooting is one of the deadliest shootings
In the US.
in American history.
Yeah, I used to live in the US. Outside my school, there was a police car all days, just in case someone was going to do something.
Because the media has double standards when it comes to white killers and white terrorists.
This same day, there was killings taking place in another part of the world, in Burma.
I heard.
they're happening generally every day. Yeah.
So, I mean, in Burma.
The Rohingya.
Yeah, the Rohingya. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
so you know.
yeah.
So now,
Supposed.
so I'm actually surprised that because there's a lot of people that actually don't know about this.
It might help that we're international relations students.
Okay, guys. So you've seen it for yourself. Now, what I want to do is I didn't get much good conversation, but Musa got into a bit of a good conversation.
Yeah.
With how did that go? Like,
You know
how did that
what,
change
bro?
your perspective?
I mean, I'm sure you guys saw the conversations for yourself, so I'm not going to talk too much about what we discussed, because you already saw it. But one thing that made me feel happy and a little bit better about what's going on in the world is that there are certain people that aren't necessarily Muslims that do notice these things. Sometimes, on our social medias as Muslim public figures and other Muslim, popular pages on Instagram and whatnot, we're always talking about this, the double standards of the media. Look at this, look at the hypocrisy, whatnot. It's always Muslims talking about it. But it was nice, bro, to see, some people that look like normal people that aren't necessarily Muslim talking about this, saying, yes, I've seen the double standards. There was one guy, I mean, I'm sure you guys saw it, who actually said to me, he seemed like an English guy, but he was white. He was a white guy, and he goes, I feel so much white privilege in this day and age. I feel it so much that I actually feel ashamed to be white. So like, it's like there are people out there, guys, that do understand what we go through, and there are people out there that do understand the double standards. So on our part, one thing that I do want to say is that when you go out there and you see English people that aren't wearing the hijab or whatnot, don't just generalize them the way the way the media generalize us. We need to think that, there are people that understand us and whatnot, and we need to approach it like that. So when we talk to someone, you don't need to necessarily approach everyone like everyone out there is your enemy. No,
of course not.
I think, in fact, majority of the public out there are understanding people, are very aware people. I mean, that's what I would have to say about it. And one more thing, just to mention this, I think we should. By this video, we're not trying to be insensitive towards the lives lost in Las Vegas. What we were trying to actually do through this video is show how
every life matters.
Every life matters, exactly. There was the whole Black Lives Matter movement. We're trying to show that every single life matters. If black people in Ghana are dying, African people are dying, that's African people dying. That's lives being lost. If people are dying in Las Vegas, that is lives being lost. But why is it that the media, the celebrities are always talking about Las Vegas now? Just because that happened. But when people are dying in Africa, no one's talking about it. When people are dying in Burma, no one's talking about it.
Yeah, and the reason, like, some people, when they come out and say Black Lives Matter, they're not going out there to make it seem like they're
only black.
No, because there's a lack of sympathy for their life. That's where they're saying, look, our lives matter too.
Yes.
That's what we want to do today. When we went out, is because we didn't want to. The fact that all lives don't matter is the reason why we're going out there, to show that all lives do matter. That's the reason we're going there, to do that. It's not because we're saying Muslim lives are different. No, of course not. So that's why what I would say is, I'm just going to wrap it up, inshallah. At the end of the day, this just proves that, and even there's a lot of far-right groups and bigots, racist individuals who are upset, and they really wanted this to be a Muslim. And there was people like Tommy Robinson was like, I actually saw his thing. He was like, oh, there's something fishy going on. They're in denial. The guy, literally, they're in denial.
I spoke to one guy, you guys would have probably seen it, where he said, ISIS are claiming this. He said to me, ISIS are claiming this now. He goes, that's absolute BS.
Yeah, of course, yeah. It is. What
they claim everything.
They claim everything.
They claim Hurricane Harvey.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
He was a Muslim.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
So that's why. Anyway, watch the video where Brother Wasim is in Burma, and inshallah do support the people there as well as I think there's a campaign going on for the victims in America. So do we'll probably put the links at the end. Do support both of them, inshallah. And watch this heart-touching video at the end of it, and share this with your friends and family. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Till next time, share this with your friends and family. Goodbye.
That you need, not knowing whether you're going to get where your next meal's coming from. The only thing that's on his lips is Allah, Allah, Allah. I suppose that's the only thing that he's got left. I don't know what to say. I don't need to say anything. Just do whatever you can to support them and to help them.